Good evening, Hobby World. Thanks for joining me tonight on episode 71 of Personal Rips and Hobby Chat. Finally, joining me tonight, as always, is Ken at B's B Card Blog, and I am Herman, aka 3B Collections. We're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. to talk about our hobby and yours. Feel free to join in the conversation and chat.
It's not finally joining you. It's just joining you for like the fourth time.
Time, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going on. And I figured you jump in whenever you can. But
Yeah, absolutely.
you got in there right on time.
I'm here.
What's up, Ed and John?
I'm here for better or worse.
I think John's no, that's tomorrow night that he's on. He said he was going to be on a plane. Yeah. Dr. Welcome.
I thought you were going to say the hobby hotline. Is John a hobby hotline guy? He is, isn't he?
Yeah, he had posted in the DM that they have that he was going to catch tomorrow night while he was on a plane. And I got confused. I was trying to think if it was tonight or tomorrow night, but it's tomorrow night. Mark, welcome.
Are you on tomorrow night? You and your new membership to the Cool Crew?
Yeah. Trying to think who was it that was supposed to be on. Was it Adam? I can't remember. One of them was in the process of moving and they couldn't make it, so I stepped in and done it. Reluctantly. I mean, like I told you, we're going to the beach Wednesday, so we're going to be packing up the car Tuesday night. So I'll have to rush home and try to get that done before we get on. So
it's going to be a night. It's going to be a night. Man, it's funny. I didn't even actually know you were going to be on there. I just literally just pulled that question out of my butt. And dang, you're going to be on. There you go.
It John called it my debut. It's not technically my debut. I was on one other time as a fill-in.
Okay. All right.
I guess it'll be my first official.
Well, congratulations on your call up to the majors.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't really know how I got that, but I think they had got down to the end of the.
Hey, at least somebody's representing us.
Right. Well, hey, I mean, I listened to Dr. Beckett's. Was it today?
It's been last week and then today. Yeah, he.
I think it was today's. I think it was today's episode that he released where you gave us a mention and.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, I guess Rich did, but said we talked about barbecuing and farming and chickens.
Hey, we mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of barbecue, so we need to get back to it because you sent me a text about something you wanted to try and you never told me if you did or not.
Oh, that was the pork tenderloin, the grinder
sandwich.
So, excuse me. Sorry. So I will say that at the end of the day, I was not that impressed with it. However, what I did enjoy was the leftover. So I took the tenderloin, sliced it, put it. I have a big, a decent sized bowl, so I could just do them flat. And I put the provolone cheese over it, which was part of the grinder. And then I put the coleslaw that you make that he has the directions for. So it wasn't on the bread, and then the tomato was missing, but man, it was a lot better. I think the bread was so thick that it kind of took some of the flavor from it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the flavor actually comes from the coleslaw. The pork tenderloin, other than how you season it, it's basically tastes like as much as you season it.
Yeah.
So there's not a ton of flavor to the meat itself. Now that, Stella, that was fantastic. And I am actually going to start maybe a weekend or two a month. I'm going to actually just some Saturday or Sunday just do it so I can just have it for lunches throughout the week. It was pretty delightful that way. It was a tasty treat.
Yeah. And like I said, it's hobby chat, so smoking can be a hobby. Smoking meat can be a hobby.
Hey, you know what? If somebody doesn't like it, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but hey.
No, you ain't got to.
That's all I got to say about that.
But
yeah, no.
I feel like the group we got, they kind of go along with everything. especially if you watch like Bo in the morning. That we have basically the same group that he does. Not quite as many, but they'll get Bo on any kind of topic. So I feel like we're safe.
Yeah, so I figured out what it is. I have to watch Bo's show at least a day later because to try to watch throughout the day. So what we found out, and I think Bo mentioned it on one of his shows recently, was so if you don't watch it live and then you go to watch the replay, if it hasn't finished doing that processing or whatever it does, and since his shows are usually an hour at least, it takes the better part of the day. It buffers badly, and you also don't get the live chat. So basically, I now watch Bo a day late.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. The live chat doesn't show up until it completely.
Yeah, and I'm sure
If
it's
you're
the
not
same
watching
for us.
live and you go back and watch it live, the live chat is null and void. So
I mean that goes for us too. You know, if you don't catch us live and you want to see the live chat, you don't want buffering, would probably behoove you to just wait until Tuesday mornings to give it a listen.
right.
So
and Ed's exactly right. He says it's all about the chat. I mean,
it really is.
That's why I prefer to do everything live. That and the fact that I suck at editing. So
well, I don't edit anything. If you've watched my movies, I know there's been or my videos, I know there's been a couple of times like I've knocked the damn camera over and I'm just like, camera down. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna edit it out. Come on.
Yeah. So if you're watching, which like I said before, most everybody's in here now, they're already subscribed and we know they watch. But for anybody that catches this that doesn't jump in the chat or the conversation, just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.
And I'm with what Ed said. You know, it is about the chat, and that's why I had gone to starting to do more live videos. And I know you had said, yeah, I never seem to catch them, but that's what I like about it because I've had a few people in there to chat with. I have got a ginormous stack of stuff over here because I haven't done a video in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, because you've started doing more live videos, and John has started doing a few live videos, and it's like I miss them. I have notifications, but I'm not always looking at my phone, so I miss them.
Absolutely.
And
I mean,
most of the time yours is like 15, maybe 30 minutes, something, and by the time I see it, you're already off. I'm like, oh crap.
And it sucks if you miss it, but I mean, if you just do recorded ones, then you're not ever going to have the interaction anyway. So it's just one of those, hey, if I can catch it, great. If I can't, sucks I didn't make the chat, but
yeah,
at least you get to you still get to watch it, and if you can make it live, then you get to interact. So
right, yeah. And Mark says he's liking Ed's new content. And I totally agree. And Ed, I think you have a wrench, so feel free to post your YouTube link, and y'all jump over and subscribe to his channel because his Hall of Fame video, the first one, well, even the second one was awesome. I remember seeing the those porcelain cards that he was talking about. Was it yesterday? Back in the 90s, and I never bought any, but he's kind of got me interested in them, intrigued.
Yeah, I didn't get it shared on Twitter yet, but I did listen to the porcelain card ones today while I was working. Usually I share them throughout the day, but I was just so slammed today that I didn't get much of anything shared. I got to go back and I'll probably share like 20 or 30 videos tonight on Twitter. Drive the people that aren't used to seeing it nuts, but It is what it is. What are you gonna do? It's like I said about watching the show. If you don't like what I post on Twitter, you are more than welcome to unfollow me.
Ooh, what did I do here? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, we got 3 people watching. We're doing good.
Yeah, personally, I've never been a fan of the alternate cards, if that makes sense. I don't know what else to call them. Like the metal cards, the porcelain cards, the ones that they have is 24 karat gold. But as I have gotten into the Earnhardt stuff a little bit, I definitely see them on there. And I think they're, as far as if you're a player collector, I think they could be kind of cool. I mean, they don't display super well, or they don't fit in the, the storage things that we have in general. Although he did show those today, and that they fit in the one touches pretty well, but not all of those do. But yeah, when you're collecting a player or something, I think those are cool little things, and a lot of those old ones from the '90s. I mean, they're still junk wax, and you can get those things super cheap. I see Earnhardt ones cheap on eBay all the time.
Yeah. DR, I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about. I'm not a big football card collector, so I don't really know anything about that. So
yeah, no, I mean, I don't really do anything ultra modern, so yeah, I got nothing. I don't honestly. I've been spending a lot less time, just hobby time in general, and yeah, I mean, it's to where the only reason I know anything about some of the ultra modern stuff is just because I follow the channels like Bench Clear, and then some of the guys that I follow that do collect that stuff. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on with the ultra modern new stuff. It's just not where my hobby focus is.
Yeah. So yeah, DR, if if you want to jump in the chat and kind of elaborate more about what that is, it a chance to buy a box or what's
that's what it sounded like from what I'm reading. Like you're entering a lottery.
Yeah.
And then if you get selected for the lottery, you get the opportunity to buy. But I mean, didn't I hear something like a retail box is like, or a hobby box is like $500 or something, just something stupid like that.
I really don't have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I've been in the last week, maybe 2 weeks. I've kind of been out of it with doing some remodeling around here, and my daughter's recital that was this past weekend. So I've kind of been out of the loop on what's been going on, other than my little niche that I've got right here. So
yeah, and that's and I don't know if that's just yeah. I mean, I don't even know what I'm trying. I guess I know what I want to say, but I don't know how I want to say it. Yeah, I don't know if it's just, we're getting a little, you and I are roughly the same age. You're a couple years older than I am, but we're basically the same age. We're at relatively the same stage in life. You're close to being an empty nester. I am an empty nester because, I have a stepson, but, there was only one child. And don't you have like what, 24 kids?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Pretty close.
Like that. But what I was getting at is, you still do have little grandbabies and you still have children at home. So you're getting, we're kind of in that same place. When you do become an empty nester, you'll be in a different place because I don't have grandbabies yet. But just the combination of that and life, yeah. Is it that is keeping us from doing as much, or is it just, the way the hobby's turning? It's just kind of just not as appealing. The new aspect of it, all the new stuff, the wax is just not appealing to us anymore. And maybe that's what it is. You're focused on your 72 tops, your Freeman collection, and your Braves collection.
Right.
You're not focused on doing breaks. You were doing some breaks for a while and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I kind of got away from that. I still love doing it. I'm actually planning on doing another one, but it's going to be more of it's a break, but it's more going to be like between friends. I think Jenny and Boa said he would be in. I think Ed may have mentioned that he'd be in, and just kind of do like a live, get on here and do a live draft. Everybody gets their team to start with. Like I would take the Braves, Bo would take the Cubs, Ed would take the Red Sox, and then go from there and just, pick 4 of the teams and go with it, or 4 or 5, depending on how many people got in. But it's kind of like a couple of buddies getting together and just splitting a box, and going there. So
yeah, when you know what you're doing and you know what you're getting into with your own team. I mean, yeah, I mean it's still it's still gambling to an extent. Whether you get all base or you get the box hit or whatever, but you kind of know what you're getting yourself into that way. So it's still a little different.
Yeah,
than normal, what people consider breaking.
I never, like I said, when I first started, I never intended to be like a, you know, make breaking a career or try to make money off of it. It was more of a fact that I like opening packs. I like seeing what comes out of the box, but I'm not going to want all of it. I'm going to want the Braves. I'm going to want my player, and that's it. And then it got to the point where I had a couple of guys that wanted the Braves too, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll let you have them, and then I'll try to pick them up on another box. But it was just a way for me to be able to open packs, but not try to absorb the price of what the box actually cost.
A bunch of stuff that you don't want.
Like DR says, the hobby boxes that he was talking about earlier are $1,400. So the lottery is a chance to win the blasters at like $29 or $30 a box. So if you can get a blaster for a product that's $1,400 for a hobby box for $30, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it would be the thing. I could go enter it, but yeah, it would be purely a flip.
Yeah, because I don't do football. I mean, I collect Georgia players, like local, like Georgia, my team. So, and I don't really chase those. If I run up on them, I'll grab them. But it's not like I've got a list that I go after. So,
yeah, which that kind of leads into the topic we were going to talk about, because you could even say that with like my West Virginia stuff. I'm like, should I just go ahead and get rid of most of it, and as long as I just keep a card or two of each player? Do I really need 50 Pat White cards?
right. So do you want to go ahead and get into it?
If you don't have anything else, I guess we could go ahead and yeah. And I like John's point. I could buy a 33 Gaudy for $30, and exactly.
True.
That's exactly my thing. When I was doing a lot more T206s, and I'd post them. Oh man, I'd love to be able to get one of those, but I can't afford $100 for a card.
Right.
I just saw you post that you bought 7 blasters from Walmart the other day. So yeah, you can afford it if you want. You just elect to do it a different way, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but just don't say you can't afford it, because obviously you can. But anyway.
Right. All right. Well, I just posted a link, and I'm going to pull it up as well, if it don't kick me out of here. Ken posted a poll. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, I posted yesterday afternoon. It ended today in the afternoon.
Yep. God, let me get it up here.
That's what she said.
That is exactly
what. No, I guess that's what he said, actually. But
I'm rusty.
So basically, what I was getting at here was, and I think we've talked about this a couple of times. What I was getting at was basically the quantity versus quality.
There it is.
And I had a handful of people replying, "Oh well, I don't care what my cards are worth." Well, this wasn't about what your cards were worth. I simply used the $50,000 as a point to show that 2 collections that are entirely different, one of 100 cards, one of 10,000 cards, would have the same, relatively market value. That just means that you have a higher average, I don't know what you want to say, worth, air quotes, market value, if you only have 100 cards. If you have 10,000 cards, they're worth on average less. And it was just a question to kind of figure out what kind of collector people are. And it's like I said, I mentioned the Earnhardt stuff earlier, and I'm trying to decide. So he's got more than 4,000 cards. Do I want to try to get as many of the 4,000 cards as I can and have 2,000 different cards, or but there's a lot of commons and stuff like that. What am I going to do with that many cards? Or do I just want to focus on getting autographs and relics and scarce items, stuff like that? And so I was just interested to see what others' thoughts were, and it started out very quickly. It actually started out to more of the the collector slash, if you want to call them hoarder mindset, where early on, and I'm talking like within a couple dozen votes, the one that ultimately lost significantly was actually leading by about a 2-to-1 ratio for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then just as things kept going on, and as you can see, it was, I'd say that's pretty much a landslide, isn't it? That's almost 4-to-1.
That's exactly what that is.
On 100 cards. And I am, when I ask that, I'm passing no judgment on the way that anybody wants to collect. As our friend Brad says, you do you, boo. Whatever you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But we also know that all of our collections evolve over time as to what we collect and how we collect. And I've been in a downsizing mode for a couple years, and kind of come to a point on the Earnhardt stuff where I need to figure out what I want to do. And I do think that what I'm going to do is I would rather have more. Let me rephrase that. I would rather have fewer cards spending the same amount of money than I would more cards. And that's just my opinion. So, but I am not.
You're leaning more toward the value with less cards.
Yeah, basically just the higher quality cards. And I say quality is, not the perfect term, but higher average market value. In this case, kind of sticking with like I said, the autographs and the relics in his case, because there is a big discrepancy because, he's been passed away for 20 years. So there have not been any new autographs come out in the last 20 years. So right. I was really shocked at how that turned out, though. I really thought it would be maybe more like a 60-40, but it kind of blew me away. And I was really surprised at the amount of votes I got too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know when you first when you sent me the link to that, I read it. I'm like, this is a topic that me and you're going to be on complete opposite poles of, and I was right, because you more. You kind of have your niche as far as what you collect, but it's not as. And when I say not as focused, I don't mean you know what you want, but you're not zeroed in on like one person or one team, so to speak.
Exactly. I'm not a team collector. I'm not a set collector anymore.
Right. And that's going to be. Somebody like that, somebody like me, which Freddie Freeman, Dale Murphy. If I see a Freddie Freeman card or a Dale Murphy card and it's in my budget, I'm going to pick it up. I'm not going to look back at a list and say, well, do I have this already? No, because I've got 36 Freddie Freeman rookies, so obviously I'm not worried about just having one of each. If I see it, I'm going to get it if it's at a reasonable price. And then being a team collector as well, like with my binders, that's going to be bulk just by itself. So, and that just, like I said, it depends on the person, basically. Seeing as how that, somebody that wants certain cards of certain areas or certain errors or whatever, you're going to be more focused on the value versus quantity. So
yeah, and it's basically, and I guess I could have obviously worded it differently, but yeah, it was just my way of saying okay, I have a budget of $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to buy one card that I would see more often or whatever, or do I want to buy, again, 100 different cards? And like I said, there's no right or wrong, because I've been on both over 30 years of collecting. I've been on 35 years of collecting. I've been on both sides of it, and I've had both points of view. And there's so many different things, where you are in life, so on and so forth. If you're younger and single, maybe that's where, those guys maybe want, their collection can fit into one box. But then I think of like when I moved to Texas, and then when I moved within Texas and moved into to our house. There's a lot of freaking cards to move, and we all know how heavy those card boxes are. So
Right.
yeah, it was just like I said, it was just me thinking more and more about what I want to do. I think a lot, and I was just curious where people, some other collectors, where they were, and obviously the people that collect cards that are on Twitter is a very small percentage of the people that collect cards. So if you literally asked every card collector, that result could be 100%, or it could be flipped completely. So who knows? But yeah, that was definitely the and again, for me, I'm just not that into most modern sport. Most of these sports have done a good job of pushing me away. So there's that as well. You've got your Braves fanhood. Was a kid. I mean, I was a huge baseball fan, and would have definitely been on the other end. But just things change, life changes, we change, all those kind of things.
Yep. And I'm trying to think who said Mark Hole. Mark Hole says, one vintage set puts you over 100 cards, and that kind of made me think that if you're a set collector, then that's automatically going to put you in the bulk category.
Absolutely.
So and I do that as well. So
yeah, and I mean, and I want to point out that again, I'm not saying either one is right or either one is wrong, because there is no right or wrong. It's all a matter of what works for you. But again, when I think about the fact that, I want to collect WVU players, guys that played at WVU, played football. But do I really need 500 different Steve Slayton cards when I could just have one or two really cool ones with a, 3-piece game used relic or something like that? Because if I've got, we'll say 10,000. Yeah, like I only have 10,000 cards. That's a joke in itself. But how exactly, yeah. But like, how often do any of us sit down and go through all of those? Is where, if say I have just a couple of 3-row boxes, I could kind of sit down an evening and go through all of that, kind of get my little nostalgia kick.
Right.
It's just I've always been fascinated by how people collect, what they collect, why they collect the way they collect. And again, just my own little personal inner dilemma of how do I want to. Because really, I'm not buying much more than Dale Earnhardt stuff lately. Dale Earnhardt and IndyCar, and a little bit of baseball, just like Manoah and John Means, and that's it.
Yep.
I'm not really buying anything else.
Welcome, Zach and Mickey. Mickey's jumped in here. He's Mickey, I think, is the king of quantity. So we know how he be.
We may be. Yeah, he may definitely be the king of quantity. And again, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with it because, like I said, I mean, of my 35 years, I'd say 35 of them I have had a very large collection. So I completely get it.
Yep.
But
like I said, it's all about, I mean, you collect how you want to collect. There's no right or wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what makes you happy. And if being surrounded by 3 million cards makes you happy, then be happy.
Absolutely, man. We all need to be happy. We all need to be happy.
If you want a Pelican case with 100, 150 graded cards, be happy. Whatever So I'm not going to judge anybody.
Yeah, absolutely not. I will still say though that I'm almost perplexed at how those results turned out, and turned out on over 300 votes. So it wasn't like we had 25 votes.
Yeah, I really thought it would be closer to what 40, 60.
That's really where I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot closer to center. I was really surprised. And I mean, there's also, I feel like you have more collectors, I'm going to use the air quotes, on Twitter than you do on Instagram. I think if I asked that on Instagram, it's like 90-10 would be the split.
Right. And it's like John said, if you ask it in a vintage group, the results would be flipped.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Where you ask it, so it's like, where's the most neutral place you can ask? to get. But I just thought it, like I said, I thought it was fascinating because I think I'm going to move toward, with the Earnhardt stuff, like, because trading card database makes it real easy to go in there and click all the ones you have and figure out, how many you have, what percentage you have. It is a great tool for that. And I've entered all of my Jeremy Mayfields and almost all of my Dale Earnhardts now. But it's like, is that the way I want to go? Or, do I want to stick with a 2-row box of relics, autographs, more scarce cards? So.
And I would like to see. I would have liked to have seen more comments as far as why people voted the way they did.
I did.
Kind of like once a Cub, he comments that as a team collector, he likes volume, and that's kind of where I stand. And Dan, excuse me, Dan, Korean Cardboard, he's like he don't care about the value, so he chooses 10,000. I mean,
and like I said, I guess what I could have done would have been worded it differently. If you
worded it fine.
But multiple people made the comment about, well, I don't care what my cards are worth. I think what I could have, now that I think about it, what I could have said is, if you have $500 to spend, do you want to buy 1 or 2 cards, or do you want to buy a couple dozen cards? You know what I mean? Like maybe that would have been the better way to actually ask it. You're going to a show, you got $500, you got $1,000. What are you going to do? Are you going to go dig through the bargain boxes, or are you going to be looking at showcases of whether that be vintage, ultra modern, whatever that may be?
Right. And like I said, there's valid points on both sides. I mean, like John says that there's relics. Relics is going to come out every year from this point on, but there'll never be another 54 Bowman Ted Williams.
But 2 counterpoints I can make to that. So again, take the fact that in this particular case, that I agree with that. But let's say that in my case, I'm talking Dale Earnhardt. Well, there aren't going to be more Dale Earnhardt relics come out.
Well, no.
And number 2, look at what the relics are now. They may not even be worn by the player depicted. I mean, we're to the point where we're just throwing swatches off of, Nike jerseys that you can buy at Fanatics. Now the ones from the late 90s, through the mid 2000s, those are the ones that ideally we would like to get, because we, at least believe, we're told that, they're from, their game used or whatever.
Right.
So,
or it'd be like, I can't remember who the player was. It was a basketball player. And it was a video that somebody put on, I think it was Instagram. They were like sliding 15 jerseys on this dude, just one on top of the other, and then ripping them all off. And then they're saying, it's player worn. Not used, it's player worn.
Yeah, but now we're not even getting that. I feel like we're seeing this is not necessarily any particular player, event, or whatever. They're getting worse. And like I said, I agree. John says he's still buying bulk. You saw the trash I bought in Dallas. Beautiful trash. Well, I don't think it was trash, for one. But yeah, like I said, I am definitely not. I know that I can be critical and have been critical of, other people in the hobby, but typically those aren't the collectors. I was very critical of the flip vester sneaker dickheads that came over and ruined our hobby for a couple of years.
Yep.
But yeah, collectors, man, just collect how you want. It's just, like I said, it's interesting. It's, and it'd be interesting to get these responses if you were able to what's the word I'm looking for, to like drill down, and are the true collectors the guys that are roughly our age and older? Not true collectors, I'm sorry. The people that would prefer to collect quantity, are they our age and older? If you take the guys that are, let's say, 25 and younger, are those guys like 90%? They'd rather be able to just fit it into that one box, that's up in the top of their closet. So it'd be interesting to get in all that, but obviously, we never will. But yeah, I love it. I mean, that I sell on eBay, and the stuff I sell, like Bo, is low dollar stuff. I'm not dealing in, I'm not moving high dollar stuff at all. I sold A guy paid. He had bought a couple the other day, didn't pay, and then he bought another today and paid for them all. I sold 3 8-card NBA player lots. That's the stuff I'm selling.
Mm-hmm.
And there are obviously a lot of people that collect that way because those are the people that are buying from me.
Right.
And I'm happy that they're there, and I'm happy that they're buying from me.
So I'm trying to pull this up because I wanted to mention a few people. Honestly, I done got rusty as crap with this. So I got in the last couple of weeks, I've got a couple of packages in the mail. One was from John, and one was from one from John, one from Jenny, and one from Victor. Which I hadn't seen Victor in here tonight, and I haven't seen Jenny, but I still want to go ahead and share it. They sent me packages of the set. I shared my 70s checklist for my binders. Jenny actually drove out to a card shop and picked these up at a card shop and sent to me. And John went through what he had and sent me a bunch.
Isn't this group of people great?
Absolutely.
It truly is.
And I really do appreciate it. I mean, it wasn't solicited. They offered, like Jenny. I mean, she just texted me out of the blue and like, send me your list for 70 cards. I'm at the card shop and I can pick up what I can find. So I sent her the list and she sent me back what she picked up. But once I went through everything and added them to my binders, it actually got me down to only 367 cards left for my Braves binder as far as tops goes. So that's out of 1,900, that's pretty good. So
this is all time tops Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves, yeah. I started at 66.
And that's just the base. That's no inserts, no parallels, no relics.
Just base. I don't fool with, as far as the binders go. I don't have to have the base, and some of the newer stuff I've got the variations added into it.
Gotcha.
Not all, just more of.
But generally,
if there's a variation, like some of the newer stuff, you'd have, one card may be Ozzie Albies, but then the same card number, they got a variation that would be Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
So I would add that in.
So then the inserts and all that other stuff and parallels in general, you take them as they come.
Right. And I don't want a variation if it's going to be a different pose of Ozzie Albies or Dansby Swanson or, but if the variation is a completely different player, then yeah, I add that to the binder. So, but yeah, that, as far as I'm actually from all 4 binders, I'm down to 635 because this what did I say? 367 on the tops. I'm down to, which the tops living. I just haven't started a binder on it because it's only 23 cards.
Well, so that was, I seen John made that comment. So is it that you don't have any of them, or you just don't have them in the binder? Like or have you just now recently decided you want to do the living? I'm just curious why it is.
No. When I first started this, I added the living set to it, and I do actually have probably 80% of those.
Gotcha.
I just haven't started a binder and checked, put them in. I probably have more than 80%. The 2 main ones that I don't have is going to be, because I have the Aaron, but I don't have the Ronald Acuna, which I don't know why, because it's not that expensive, and I don't have the Nick Markakis.
I was wondering. I couldn't remember if he was with the Braves because he was in the first 3, wasn't he?
He was the first.
Number 2.
He was one of the first real short printed issues, and the price of his card skyrocketed for no reason other than the fact that it was short printed. But since then, there's been either 6 or 7 cards that are shorter printed than his, but his is still more expensive just because of the comps on eBay. Everybody's still trying to get top dollar for it or whatever, and so
Just got to keep searching for that auction.
yeah, and that's the thing. And like I said, I just never started it. So I mean, but I have. It's probably closer to 90% because I think the Acuna and the Markakis, and I think maybe 2 others I don't have. So, but then like I said, the Heritage I'm down to 214. Gypsy Queen I'm down to 31. Allen Ginter is complete until Allen Ginter comes out this year. So, what's up, Dan? But yeah, what year's Heritage do you need? I have a ton, 19 through 21. I think 19 through 21 may be complete, John. I'll check it out, but well, shit, we can do it now. Where we at? We'll do it on screen. Ooh. All right, I said we would. Maybe we won't. It's freezing up on me. Come on.
You did say you were having some issues earlier.
I did. Here we go. Heritage. Oh, yeah. And I love this checklist, by the way. 19 real quick. Come on. I'm missing the Albies and Freeman SP, the Nick Markakis variation, which I don't even know why that's in there. And 20 is going to be the Acuna, Max Fried, and Riley, which is SPs. Then I don't know why I'm missing the Freeman League Leader. I've probably got that one. I just hadn't pulled it out of my Freeman box. Max Fried on 2021. And it's most of the SPs, Will Smith, Swanson, and Duvall. 2022 is a Freeman SP. Probably got that one as well. And Adrianza. And Arcia, which was that's 22. So, yeah. 21's pretty much done except for those 3. But that's that. But yeah, like I said again, I appreciate y'all sending those to me.
So something I love about live chat, as opposed to us recording this, is something that got mentioned in the chat that I'd love to. We got 15 minutes we could chat on real quick. So Cooter Lev said, I saw a 1941 Ted Williams bat relic at a show this weekend. Whoever decided to cut up that bat should be run through the bandsaw instead. And then
True.
We got John a couple of down. I agree, Tom. The relic makers are saying they're spreading history to all. They're only motivated by the dollar. So I take it you share that opinion?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, to cut up a modern day jersey or whatever is one thing, but when you cut up something like the 41 Ted Williams bat, that's something that there's not going to be another one.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate. Can you afford a 1941 Ted Williams bat?
No.
Can you afford a relic piece of it?
Possibly, but not that I would necessarily want it.
Make it Hank Aaron. Make it whoever you want. Make it somebody you would want.
I see where you're going with it. I see where you're going with it.
I will say that I actually agree. I wish that stuff like that they would not cut up because, like you said, it's not coming back. There's no more of that to be had. Mm-hmm. I agree, and that stuff should be in the Hall of Fame or should be in a player's personal museum. Mm-hmm. I agree 100%, but I'm also going to play the devil's advocate of I can't afford to have a Ty Cobb game-used bat. I could conceivably afford or I'm more likely to be able to afford a Ty Cobb Bat Relic card, and I still have that piece of history. Now, would I rather have the bat? Yes, I would rather have the bat, and yes, I would rather that bat be in the Hall of Fame or in the Ty Cobb Museum. But I just wanted to present that one little devil's advocate side of that, because I've definitely seen the discussion before.
Yeah. And I said, like I said, I see where you're going with it, and that's completely understandable. But like Mark said, he can't afford it, but somebody can.
But if somebody can afford that, there probably is another one somewhere.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not, like I said, I'm not in support of cutting up historic relics in any way, shape, or form. But I am just playing the other side of the card. But, and then you say that they're only interested in money. Well, how many people actually buy a box of Topps whatever saying, by God, the only thing I want out of this is that Ty Cobb Bat Relic that is like one in 500 million packs. So it's not like people are going just for that one historic relic piece. They're buying the product. Yeah. They're just buying it for a big hit in general. So I don't think that that's a selling point of, unless it's like the first Babe Ruth game used bat relic, jersey relic. In that case, yeah, with the internet and social media, yeah, you could really turn that into a chase.
Yeah.
But again, I still think that's the exception to the rule and not the general way that it is.
Right. Well, we got about 13 minutes left. So, and I told you I was going to do this at the start, but
yeah,
for those that stuck around, I appreciate it.
All right, I'm heading out. I'm heading out. I'll see everybody next week.
Oh, Ken don't want to watch. Victor pops in. Good to have you, Victor. This past weekend, which was the reason why I missed the Dallas show I was supposed to be going to, but I had to practice for this recital that my daughter had. They have a daddy-daughter dance at the beginning of it. And I enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed myself. I was nervous going up to it. It wasn't my first one. It was actually like probably the 7th or 8th one I've done. But
can I say something?
Go ahead.
How many more chances are you going to have to do this type thing?
4 or 5.
There's a Dallas card show every other month.
Exactly, and that's why it did take me a half a second to decide I wasn't going when I realized I was going to miss, because I missed her first practice when I flew up to Wisconsin, but I had that trip planned before they released the practice schedule or whatever. So when I found out that me going was going to cause me to miss the last one, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Even though everything was lined up, I had everything, plane ticket, place to stay, ride, everything was lined up. I'm like, no, can't do it. But I had a great time. Got to embarrass my daughter, which is always good. And it was a great bonding time as well. So if you want to sit through it and you want to bear it, I will take the embarrassment of sharing it, the full video, for everybody that wants to watch. And I know that this is going to get muted by YouTube. So because of the I don't own the rights to this song, so don't care. But if you're here, you can watch it. that's it.
She's gonna act mortified about it at some point, but she is
Okay.
she is always gonna love that.
And Mark,
She's-
I appreciate that, man. I was told at the end of the show that, because I always complain about getting put front row center, but I was told at the end of it that I was put there for a reason. We're always put there for a reason because they never know what we're gonna do. Because I mean, we'll cut up. It's fun. That's what it's meant to be. I already know with that whole deal. And there was a part before that I decided to edit out that was just us, which is what I've always called it the comedy relief. So as long as you get that last part right, it don't matter. It is what it is. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be fun. So I mean, why not have fun? And
well done, brother. Well done.
The little leg kick at the end was something that was her idea, and that's what I told you earlier. She tried to back out on me when she came out on stage. She's like, "I'm not doing it, Daddy." I'm like, "Yes, you are. We done worked on it." And because nobody else did it, she wanted to throw her leg up and use her leg as a guitar. And so, and it just as coincidence would have it, the guy that was sitting in front of us actually got pictures of that particular time, and the look on her face was priceless. She was so embarrassed.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I don't have a child of my own, but I do have a stepson, and
Right.
he did show choir all 4 years of high school, and there were times that I really didn't want to drive 2 or 3 hours and go to a show choir all day, but I went. And you know what? He may not remember all those times I was there, but he would remember the times I wasn't there if I hadn't been. And I would regret the times I hadn't been there if I hadn't been.
Mm-hmm.
So, live it up, man. You only get it, it only happens for so many, you only get so many chances. I guess that's the way I should say. So,
right.
That was awesome.
And you're right. I mean, it is embarrassing. It can be embarrassing. But I mean, once it gets started and you get into it and it's over, you're glad you're done it. It's like you said, how many more chances are you going to get?
And if you're embarrassed, if you're embarrassing yourself with your kid or your grandkid, you're not really embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody that thinks it's that awful, well, that says more about them than it does you.
True. Like I said, I've got at the most 5 more years that I can do that with her, and she could possibly be out of the house, which I hope not. I would love to hold her in here for another 10 after that, but that's just that's the being a daddy of a daughter, of the only daughter. So, I raised 3 boys prior to her, so to say I'm protective is an understatement. So,
nope, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well done, and great job sharing it too.
Yeah.
And if we can't laugh at ourselves just a little bit, who can we actually laugh at?
And I've always had the mindset of I don't care what other people think of me.
Yeah.
I don't care what they say about me. I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to do me. Like you said, as Bo says, I'm going to do me, Boo.
I think it's Brad, not Bo, but
not Bo, not Brad. Yeah, Brad. I'm sorry. the boo threw me off. But yeah, I mean, what's the point? I mean, if you go through life worrying about what other people think about you, that's a horrible life, man.
Yeah. No, man, that was awesome. That was awesome. Glad you shared it. Glad you had a good time. Glad you didn't come. Glad you didn't come to Dallas.
Right.
Glad you
stayed. I would have been nowhere near as good on that stage if I'd have missed the practice.
Absolutely. And like I said, there are 6 of those Dallas shows a year. So you'll be just fine if you hold off for another year.
Right. Well, and before we go, I know Bo wasn't in the chat. I was hoping he'd jump in, which it is his birthday. So
happy birthday, Bew. Isn't that what he said the other day? People say his name Bew.
Yep. And I know he will watch this at some point. So happy birthday, Bo.
Happy birthday, Bo.
Hope it was a great one, and hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
What is he, 40 now? 39?
I don't know.
I'm sure I'm way off, but
Younger than me. I think he said he's turning 39 is where I'm not gonna die on that hill, but that's the hill I'm gonna stand on right now.
right. But either way,
he said he's 39.
happy birthday, Bo.
Happy birthday, dear Bo.
Yep.
Or as, like I said, or as he said, Bew in the you know what I'm talking about? I'm wondering if that's why you got the boo thing earlier.
It
where
is.
he said sometimes people think his name is Bew.
You.
Because like beautiful starts with BEAU.
Yep.
That would be his wrestling name, Beautiful Bo. That would be his wrestling name.
There it is. All right, guys, we appreciate it. And as always, when we go in this half cock, that always ends up being some of the better ones. So,
and John said he thinks Bo's actually 40, so I may be a year off.
Maybe.
Doesn't matter. Happy birthday anyway, amigo.
All right, guys, take care. We'll see y'all next week. And if you're around, check us or check me out along with, we don't even know who's engineer tomorrow night. Nobody's said who's it. But tomorrow night on the Hobby Hotline at 9 p.m.
Maybe not, apparently.
If the engineer don't come through, I don't know what we're going to do. I think John said he'd jump in a pinch, and I think maybe Brad might be taking over at some point. But anyway, all right, guys, take care, and we'll see y'all next week after I've gotten my tan. Okay. See you.